Hello everybody, Dr. Katka here. Hey, we have a beautiful sunset happening once again. Today is Wednesday the 12th. I'll move this slightly so you can see it. Hello, hello, hello. So today we have a second body need that we'll be discussing right after the sunset. But before we get there, I wanted to share with you something called the human needs. The needs of us as human beings, really, spiritual being, having human experience, it depends which way you look at it. This I have learned from Tony Robbins. And there is 4 basic human needs and then 2 spiritual needs. And they are, I'm going to go through them first and then we will elaborate a little bit more. But they are the need for certainty. They are the need for uncertainty, which kind of doesn't make sense, but I'll explain. Need for significance, number 3. Need for love and connection, number 4. Those are the basic human needs. And then there are 2 human needs that are the need for growth and contribution. So ultimately, the more we think about it, the more, like for myself, I would love, like my goal is to have and we usually have as human beings 2 primary needs. So my goal would be to have the need for contribution and then love. So love and contribution would be my primary needs that I would want to live by. However, being really honest, when I'm looking at my life and how I have lived my life and how I have grew up, there has been the number 1 need has been the need for safety, and that is certainty. The need for certainty, otherwise safety, and then love and connection would be the second need. So what happens so those needs, like the need for certainty, is one of the many primary human needs. As human beings, we tend to oftentimes function from our subconscious more than our conscious, and the subconscious is what tries to keep us safe. The other need, the need for uncertainty, you would be thinking, what's that about? And that is the need for variety. When we have too much certainty, some of us get unsettled. So the need for adventure and variety would be the second primary need. And for some of us, it is actually their primary need. Then, of course, the need for love and connection is profound. Some of us apparently are more afraid to fully love and let ourselves be loved, so we settle for connection, which is okay. And then the need for significance is, in order for me to believe that I am worthy and that I am loved, I actually need to feel significant. So that would be the need for significance. And as the sun is setting, I'll move this over. I would love for you to kind of see and think about for a little bit, what would you think your primary human needs are out of the 2? So 1 is usually number 1, and closely after that is number 2. Powerful day again, isn't it, today? And the reason to know these human needs and know where we are coming from is, 1, it helps us navigate our own life better, and it also helps us navigate our relationships. So if I am, coming from a place of certainty and I need certainty in my life, and my partner's primary need is uncertainty, it's going to be tricky to communicate and connect and find common ground. Versus if somebody's need is significance, thank you, son, we know you're significant. I wonder, the sun doesn't really have any needs, it's just there for us. But we know you're significant, so thank you for gracing us with your presence again for the whole day. And Good night and see you tomorrow. Of course, someplace the sun is rising this very moment, which always just like blows my mind. You know, it's like for us it's setting and somebody else is watching it rise. Isn't that amazing? So that was our sunset, and let's finish these human needs first before we move into our body needs. So the reason I'm talking about this is that when we become conscious of our needs, we can actually consciously move to the ones that we desire more. Like for me, definitely contribution in the world would be one, and connected with love. So those would be two main ones. And being really honest, in order to contribute the way I really want to contribute with the experiences, the knowledge that I have, and what I want to share with the world, the need, my primary need of certainty and safety is very much not conducive to that. Do you see that? Like, because if I want to be certain, and it's a love, right? Love, connection, and certainty. If I want to be certain that it's going to be accepted, if I want to be certain that it's going to make a difference, if I want to be, loved for what I put out there, I'm in trouble. I'm very much in trouble. So it's almost, I have to be able to consciously understand that the need for contribution and growth ultimately is the need of my soul, and I every day have to almost be conscious when my being gets not stuck in, but almost stuck in the safety and certainty, because that oftentimes comes from the primary traumas and experiences of life, and my being just wants to protect me, and it makes perfect sense. Just very briefly, there's something called the trap door between the thalamus in the brain and the hypothalamus, and what that means is the trap door basically it needs to keep us safe. So when we undergo any kind of trauma, it could be anything, as a small child, it could be anything, it could be major trauma, it could be something that's perceived as trauma, it could be mom didn't appreciate when I made this beautiful picture, I remember when I was little, I got these big markers, permanent markers, and I made this amazing picture, right? Except I made it on a freshly painted a wall, not even painted, it was the paper was put on the wall back then. So it's this hard work that my parents did, and I took these things and I just made this super amazing picture, and I wasn't appreciated for that at all, quite the opposite. So that could be perceived as a trauma right there, and so I never want to repeat that experience again, right? So my subconscious mind makes sure that if anything like that comes even to the forefront, it protects me from it happening. So I get into fear and constriction, and I do not express, and my conscious mind doesn't even have a say-so at that point. So becoming conscious, and that's what our feelings and emotions help us do, and that's a whole another story for us to go into. But the more aware we can be from where we're coming from, and the more conscious we can become, and literally take the subconscious, unconscious mind with us, and the little 5-year-old that got stuck back there, if I can take her with me and say, let's go paint the wall all over here and let's go for it. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Cheryl. Love and significance. Yes, I know it's really important that we look at them and realize that we can change them. We can change where we are coming from when it comes to our primary human needs. And the last bit I'm going to say about that is, what happens when we get ill? The trouble with getting ill is, let's say my primary need is contribution or growth and love, or uncertainty. I want to have, adventure, and then God forbid I get ill. Oftentimes those needs have to be put on the back burner, and the need for safety and certainty takes over, because I am so uncertain in how my body functions, and I'm so uncertain in how, what is going to happen when I do this. Let's say people that get exposed to mold and all that, becomes, the uncertainty takes over. And so again, it's this whole big picture about understanding these needs when it comes to the big picture healing, how we actually heal physically. We also heal emotionally, and a spiritual healing happens at the same time. If we can understand that, it helps us move forward and through the illness easier. So that was today real quick about human needs. And once again, we're going to turn off real quick, and I'll be right here in the next few seconds, and we'll go to our body need number 2. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere, stay on the same channel.